Hello, Brockton, Massachusetts. This is Richard Ripley, the BATBUS guy, a 67-year-old disabled senior who was victimized 4 times by the illegal, dangerous driving behavior of BATBUS drivers who didn't give a damn about my safety. I am now in month number 12 of my David versus Goliath battle with Brockton Mayor Sullivan and the 11-member Brockton City Council, led by Moses Rodriguez, and Brockton's 2 state representatives, Rita Mendez and Michelle Du Bois, to convince them to show some compassion and empathy and immediately issue a public statement warning Brockton's vulnerable elderly and immigrant communities about the documented, illegal, dangerous, and ongoing public safety threat on BAT buses before they become a victim. Thanks for tuning into the 7th episode of my show, The Bat Bus Guy versus the City of Brockton. Brockton's only media platform that cares about the safety of Brockton's kids and seniors' right to get on a bus safely. The sad fact is that BAT and Mayor Sullivan, who is also chairman of BAT's advisory board, which has direct oversight of safety issues on BAT, and the Brockton City Council and Massachusetts State Representatives Rita Mendez and Michelle Du Bois are all aware of the illegal, dangerous, and ongoing public safety threat on BAT over the last year, but have apparently decided that your safety and the safety of your kids and loved ones is not important enough to them to issue a public safety statement. People of Brockton, I strongly recommend that you contact the mayor's office or your city councilors or state representatives, Rita Mendez or Michelle Du Bois, and ask them, what gives you the right to play God and gamble with the life and safety of my kids? If there is a documented public safety threat on BAT buses, no matter how minor that has threatened the safety of kids and seniors, I expect you to inform me so that I can take precautions to protect my family and let me decide if this is something that I need to know to protect my kids. Now, as you know, I have asked them that question multiple times, but unfortunately, your mayor and your city councils have chosen to act like a bunch of 2-year-olds and give me the silent treatment. Maybe they will respond to you. Good luck. Let me know if they respond to you. So, people of Brockton, will I continue my battle to convince, force, and shame the individuals with the power to act to issue a public statement on the BAT threat? Please remember, you have the right to safely get on a BAT bus without the driver moving the bus into traffic and endangering your life and safety. Remember, it is illegal for the bus driver to move the bus while you are standing forward of the yellow standee line on the floor of the bus. Remember, you have the right to ask the driver not to move the bus until you are seated. Do not be afraid to exercise this right. It could save your life or the life of your kid. For more information, please contact BAT Administrator Michael Lambert at 508-588-1000. 508-588-1000. That number will be on your screen probably at the end of this broadcast. If you cannot reach Mr. Lambert, or if Mr. Lambert will not return your call, which probably very likely he won't, please contact me at my email, also on the bottom of your screen. I now want to update you on my progress since my last show. I have begun to reach out to Boston area group sites and posting my videos and messages about my David versus Goliath battle for the people of Brockton's right to get on a bus safely and be informed by the city of Brockton about this current documented threat on BAT that began 1 year ago. The battle lines could not be clearer. I, the BAT bus guy, believe that if you are a parent putting your kid on a bus to go visit grandma across town, or a disabled senior going to your medical appointment on a BAT bus, or going food shopping at the local market basket, you have a right to know that over the last year, approximately 80 Brockton residents, including kids and seniors, have had their life and safety placed at risk by approximately 50 individual uncaring BAT bus drivers. That is a fact. But your mayor and other city leaders say, no, you don't have that right to know. So you have the situation of me, I'm the BAT bus guy. I'm challenging the city to address this threat. And you, the people, are going to have to decide who's right. People of Brockton, people of Brockton, let me say now, I know that it is difficult for you to believe that your mayor and city councilors would jeopardize your safety or the safety of your kids. But they are. I am a firm believer in full disclosure. So, unlike BAT or your city leaders, including Mayor Sullivan or your Brockton City Council or your state representatives, Rita Mendez or Michelle Dubois, will give you the documents to prove it. I am offering to give you the documents that prove what I say is true. I'm willing to give you any documents you want. I have over 500 documents because I want to prove to you beyond a doubt that I am telling you the truth. This is a serious, dangerous public safety threat on BAT buses. So just all you can do is just contact me at my number on the bottom of your screen and I will get the documents to you. Next, I have begun acting on the advice of my supporters that I need to take my battle outside the Brockton area that Mayor Sullivan controls. I am currently on 14 social media platforms from Brockton to Boston and their suburbs. This has resulted in a tremendous amount of responses, likes, comments, shares, emails to my texts and posts, and I've lost track after 1,000, so this is definitely an issue that people are talking about. As I expected, these responses are positive and negative, encouraging and mean, uplifting and sarcastic. That's just the way it is when you're dealing with the public. Everyone has their own thoughts. Let me give you a few examples of some of the comments I've received. One says, I have great respect for you for what you are doing, Mr. Ripley. Another one says, you are wasting your time. Nobody cares about BAT buses. They also tell me to get a life. That's fine. That's your opinion. That's okay. Another one says, you go, BAT bus guy. Keep up the fight. Another one says, don't listen to the haters. Keep being the BAT bus guy. Another one says, thank you for standing up for us riders. Going the extra mile really makes a difference in our lives. BAT bus drivers drive like Japanese kamikaze pilots, another one says. Another one says, thanks for looking out for riders' safety. Another one says, if you don't feel safe, buy a car. Good comment. I would buy a car if I could afford one, but I can't afford a car. Another one says, BAT drivers do the best they can. Management forces them to keep the buses moving. Another one says, you seem to have a vendetta against Mayor Sullivan. More on that later. Another one says, get a hobby. Okay? Another one says, it has always been this way in Brockton. The mayor and city councilors do whatever they want. You won't change that. Now, views of my 11 videos on my YouTube channel, BATBUSGUY, continue to increase. I appeared on Keith Hayes' podcast, The Booth. More on that later. You can view it now, though, if you want. It's on my BATBUSGUY channel on YouTube. I want to take this opportunity to say thanks to everyone who took time to respond. Your recent outpouring of comments is very heartwarming to me. They came at a time when I was getting discouraged that I could not break through and reach the good, honest, caring people of Brockton. I knew you were out there. Thanks. Keep your comments coming. As you all know, I ran for Brockton mayor in the recent election. During my campaign, I met some of Brockton's influential movers and shakers. Last week, I received a call from, let's call him Henry. He is a prominent Brockton real estate agent. He wanted to let me know that he agrees with me that Mayor Sullivan and the Brockton City Council have a responsibility to inform the people of the threat on BAT. Henry also suggested that I needed to emphasize and go into greater detail on exactly what the illegal dangerous threat is that I've been talking about, exactly why I believe it is a City of Brockton issue, and exactly why I believe it is an ongoing threat. Apparently, he tells me that he's talked to some others, and I'm not getting that message out. So I'm gonna try to do that right now. First of all, what exactly is this illegal threat on BAT buses? To begin with, it is a fact that under federal and Massachusetts law, it is illegal to move the bus while passengers are standing forward of the yellow standee line on the floor of the bus. Next, it is also a fact that the fare boxes on buses are located forward of the yellow line. And when passengers are standing there trying to hold on with one hand while trying to deposit their fare with their other hand while trying to maintain their balance on a moving bus, that, in my opinion, is a dangerous public safety threat on BAT. It is much more serious and dangerous when the passengers are holding shopping bags or trying to either hold on to the young kids' hands so that the kids do not fall and get injured, or if they are carrying their infant child, or if the passenger is either a senior or disabled. And when you take into consideration the fact that while all this is going on, the driver is constantly driving in traffic, moving the bus, and that if that driver has to suddenly hit the brakes, it will result in those passengers, including kids' whole body being propelled violently forward right into the windshield and very likely seriously injured. Keep in mind, there is no way for a driver to know when conditions on the road will leave them no choice but to slam on the brakes. So, when you take into consideration that I alone have reported approximately 80 individual safety incidents where the above conditions existed, and the fact that of those 80 passengers, and the fact that any one of those 80 passengers could have been injured due to the illegal driving behavior of that BAT bus driver, then that, in my opinion, is a serious and dangerous threat. And keep in mind that I am just one passenger on one bus. There are 558 individual bus trips per day, Monday through Friday, on BAT. Unless you believe that I was and am unlucky enough to be on the only bus out of 558 buses that these safety incidents are occurring on, just imagine how many hundreds and even thousands of actual safety violations are really occurring every day, Monday through Friday, on those other 557 bus trips in Brockton. And keep in mind that there are more than a few incidents that I reported to BAT and Mayor Sullivan in which the passenger was standing forward of that yellow line on the moving bus, and when the driver had to hit the brakes, their whole body was propelled backwards, and by the grace of God, the passenger at the last second before falling grabbed something to stop themselves from falling. And I have all that on video. I can give you the dates and times to back that up, if BAT will release the tapes. I don't know. That may take the Supreme Court to get them to do that, but the evidence is there if BAT will release it. Let's see, where was I? Yes, okay. Anyway, that again is, in my opinion, is a serious and dangerous threat. And keep in mind that there are also when you take into consideration the fact that the passenger could just as likely not have grabbed hold of that bar at the last second. It gives you an idea of just how many close calls have happened on the BAT bus. Granted, no one's been injured that I'm aware of, but these are very close calls with just a simple slip of the foot or not reaching the bar in time, and the passenger could have been hurt. That's how dangerous this is. That, in my opinion, again, is a serious and dangerous safety threat. And when you can take into consideration that I reported at least 6 or 8 incidents in which there were multiple safety violations on the same BAT bus within just a few minutes. And when you take into consideration the fact that I have multiple emails from BAT Operations Manager Kelly Forrester, BAT General Manager Mike Damon, and BAT Assistant General Manager James Whitmore, in which they state that in their own words, they state that they have personally spoken with the drivers multiple times and have had multiple meetings and taken other steps to address these safety violations, yet these illegal, dangerous safety violations continued and 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 continued for many weeks and many months. And when you take into consideration the fact that at no time during all these months, while all these 80 safety threats were occurring, neither BAT nor Mayor Sullivan, who is also chairman of BAT's advisory board, which has oversight of safety issues on BAT, ever issued any warnings to the people of Brockton to warn them of this illegal, dangerous threat, so they could at least be aware, and make their own decision, and they could take precautions to protect themselves and their families. That, in my opinion, is a serious and dangerous threat to the public safety in Brockton on the BAT buses. Next, I will address why it is a City of Brockton issue. In other words, people are saying that this is not a City of Brockton issue, and I have to understand that. Well, let me see if I can change some of your minds, give you some facts. First, let me remind you that on August 31st, 2023, I received a certified letter from the City of Brockton stating that the City of Brockton is unable, let me say that again, the City of Brockton is unable to respond to your continued safety concerns, as this is a matter for BAT management. Next, when you take into consideration the fact that Mayor Robert Sullivan, City Councilors Susan Nicastro, Winthrop Farwell, Jean Bradley Duranencourt, Shirley Asak, Moses Rodriguez, Maria Tavares, Jeffrey Thompson, John Lally, David Teixeira, I'm sorry, I know I've mispronounced your names, it's not intentional, and also Massachusetts State Representatives Rita Mendez and Michelle Du Bois. We're all duly elected by you, the people of Brockton, to represent and serve you on all issues, including public safety in Brockton, which in my opinion is the single most critical important issue in our community. That, in my opinion, makes this a BAT threat, a City of Brockton issue that needs to be addressed by the City of Brockton to the people of Brockton. Also, when you take into consideration the fact that BAT is called Brockton Area Transit, and its fleet of buses is located in the heart of the City of Brockton. When you take into consideration the fact that BAT buses travel all the streets of Brockton in the City of Brockton 7 days a week. When you take into consideration that BAT picks up unsuspecting, innocent City of Brockton residents, and at various times its drivers, and not all drivers, I'm not including all drivers, there's some very good ones, some drivers drive illegally and dangerously threaten these passengers they pick up on the streets of Brockton, then that, in my opinion, makes this BAT threat a City of Brockton issue that the City of Brockton has a duty and a right to inform the people of Brockton. Now, I want to say, if this BAT issue is not a city issue, then can I assume that any company or individual from another state in this country or another country on this planet can operate a business in Brockton, and its employees can threaten the safety of Brockton residents, and there's nothing the City of Brockton can do because they say it's not a City of Brockton issue? Hogwash. Certainly, if 7 customers in a restaurant in Brockton got violently sick from food poisoning, it would be a City of Brockton issue. In fact, I have no doubt the city and the local media outlets would cover the story extensively. But we have 80 Brockton residents documented that 80 Brockton residents have had their life and safety threatened on a BAT bus. And again, it doesn't matter how minor it is. The threat is there. You can read my emails. I'll give them to you. Some of these threats are major threats. And the Brockton Area Transit, the City of Brockton, the Brockton Police Department, and the Office of Massachusetts State Representative Rita Mendez all conduct independent investigation in which, again, they all confirm the threat is real. No matter how minor, the threat is there. It is real. But the City of Brockton and the City Council say that the threat is not a city issue. Well, now, does anyone out there agree with me that logic is utterly ludicrous? Next, I want to address why is this an ongoing public safety threat? Because I guess people aren't understanding my logic on why, if the BAT drivers have been disciplined, why is this still an ongoing threat? I want to see if I can try to change some of your minds, try to convince you. Again, I'm going to do this through documentation. And I'll give you the documents anytime you want. Now, let me start. When you take into consideration the fact that, as I stated above, BAT drivers have a documented history of repeatedly ignoring multiple BAT management directives to stop driving illegally. Multiple times, it's documented. When you take into consideration the fact that I was warned by BAT bus driver and vice president of Local 1547, the bus drivers union, his name is Mr. Guy D. Pierre, that the drivers know who you are, and if you do not stop reporting safety violations to BAT management and the mayor's office, and if a driver receives their fourth disciplinary letter, which apparently will result in their being fired, and they will not be able to feed their families, then they will come after you. Again, this is all documented. Then this, in my opinion, is a clear and incontrovertible proof that certain drivers feel that they have a right to drive illegally, and they have no problem threatening the life of a 67-year-old senior citizen to maintain that right to drive illegally. Then that is an example of why, in my opinion, this is an illegal threat and will continue to be an ongoing threat in this city. Also, when you take into consideration the fact that according to BAT Assistant General Manager John Whitmore, he says there is a clause in the collective bargaining agreement that BAT has with the Amalgamated Transit Union. It is called fishing harassment. I want to briefly read it to you. It's just a short paragraph. Now, I want to stress, what I'm going to say, these are not my words. This is the words of BAT Assistant General Manager John Whitmore. His words, not mine. He states, I have expressed our apologies and commitment moving forward to ensure the drivers do not lose focus and keep following the laws and policies set in place to keep passengers safe. I have explained our position. Now, this is the interesting part. I have explained our position and what we are allowed, on what they are allowed to do within the confines of the collective bargaining agreement with the Amalgamated Transit Union, and what steps they have taken to coach, warn, and reprimand the drivers violating the laws and policies. He says they are bending the rules. They are violating their contract. They're bending the rules, see how far they can bend it. They said we are bending the rule of the video review needing to be tied to a specific complaint by watching for these infractions anytime we have reason to pull video and take action. Next, I wanted to say, 1 second, I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. What that means, that statement means is that despite BAT Administrator Michael Lambert's statements to Mayor Sullivan that the issue is under control and the buses are safe, the buses are in fact not safe. The fact that BAT General Manager John Whitmore states very clearly in his own words that there are limits to the steps that BAT is allowed to take to monitor the driving behavior of BAT bus drivers to keep passengers safe. The fact that John Whitmore states in his own words that BAT is technically in violation of the terms of the collective bargaining agreement by bending the rules, I have to ask, will BAT management continue in the future to bend these rules if the Amalgamated Transit Union starts pushing back and accuses them of violating the fishing harassment clause? Then what happens? Does the safety of innocent kids and disabled seniors and pregnant women take a back seat to the collective bargaining agreement that protects the bus drivers instead of the bus passengers? That is another example of why I say that as long as the fishing harassment clause is in the collective bargaining agreement, passenger safety will not and cannot be assured by BAT management. That is why this is and will continue to be an ongoing threat in the city of Brockton. Let me now turn to address a comment I received from a concerned viewer. The viewer stated after watching one of my shows that it sounds to her like I have a vendetta against Mayor Sullivan. I will call her Kathy. Kathy, thank you for taking the time to contact me and express your concerns. Your concern, that's a great concern. Kathy, I do not have a vendetta against Mayor Sullivan. While I did run against him as a candidate for mayor in the recent election, I have no personal animosity against Mayor Sullivan. I do not know much about him, actually. I have read about him and have been told that he is a lifelong Brocktonian who loves Brockton. He was a city councilor who worked tirelessly and listened to the concerns of his constituents. He is a family man who cares deeply about the city and all its residents. Now, I listened to his State of the City address last March, in which he stated, "I want to be mayor of everybody here in Brockton. I want to give Brockton's immigrant community the tools they need to assimilate into Brockton. I want to inform and educate Brockton and help them." Now, I want to say, when he says, "I want to give Brockton's immigrant community the tools they need to assimilate into Brockton," that, I don't know, I believe, you'll have to make the final decision, but I believe that the people, the immigrants that come into Brockton from Cape Verde, from Brazil, from Jamaica, from other countries, they have a right to know that in Brockton, you have a right to get on a bus safely. You have a right that the driver not move the bus and endanger your safety. You have a right to know what your rights are on a bus. And the only way you can know that is for the mayor to follow through on his statement in his City of the State address and inform and educate the people of Brockton on what they need to assimilate in Brockton. I ask the mayor now, please. I know when you do these City of State addresses, you state a lot of happy talk. I understand that. That's politics. But this is a serious issue, this bat issue, this threat on the buses, and Brockton's immigrant community needs to be educated and informed by you. Please do this. Start educating and inform them. And then I say, Kathy, the one and only issue I have with Mayor Sullivan is over the illegal, dangerous, and ongoing public safety threat on BAT buses that his own administration has confirmed is real, and his subsequent refusal since February 10th, 2023, to act responsibly as both mayor of Brockton and chairman of BAT's advisory board, which has oversight of safety issues on BAT, and simply issue a public statement warning the people of Brockton that he states that he loves and wants to help, so that they can be aware and take precautions when getting on a BAT bus, protect themselves and their families. In other words, Mayor Sullivan, if what I've read about you is the truth, and I'm assuming it is, I want to believe it is, that you love Brockton, you care about Brockton residents, you want to help them, then please step forward and help them. Tell them what their rights are on a bus. Tell them about this threat that exists on the bus, so they can be aware and protect themselves and their families. Anyway, Kathy, I honestly believe that Mayor Sullivan needs to be reminded that his loyalty and allegiance is not to protect BAT. His loyalty and allegiance is to protect and serve the people of Brockton. Mayor Sullivan and the City Council, all of you, you were duly elected to represent, protect, and serve the people of Brockton. You were not elected to represent and serve BAT, Brockton Area Transit. You need to do what your job is, protect the people of Brockton. Your job is not to protect BAT's reputation and try to protect them. You need to protect and serve the people of Brockton. Anyway, Kathy, I hope I have alleviated your concerns and assured you that I do not have a personal vendetta against Mayor Sullivan. The only issue I have is with this issue over this BAT threat. That's it. That's the only issue I have with him. And let me add now, let me go off script here and say, Mr. Mayor, I'll sit down with you or the city councilors anytime and discuss this threat, this issue, this threat on BAT buses. Anytime you choose, I will meet you wherever you want, individually or as a group. I'll be by myself. You can all ask me questions and we can discuss this. I'm available. I'm open to that. In fact, I've suggested that a few times, but you guys I guess you have something to hide. You don't want to speak. But anyway, the offer's there on the table. Let's see, then I go on. While I'm on this subject, let me talk about the language and phrases that I use from time to time in my campaign speeches as for mayor and in my videos and my emails. First, let me say I welcome criticism. I truly do. I know I'm not perfect. I welcome criticism. Everyone's going to have criticism because not everyone's going to believe anything you say. So anyway, I welcome criticism. I am not a perfect human being. I am flawed and I make mistakes. I believe and agree that when you make a mistake or say something in the heat of the moment that is over the line and hurtful, that you stand up, act responsibly, admit it, and apologize. So let me say now to the mayor, to the city councilors, to State Representative Mendez and State Representative Du Bois, I am sorry. I did use language that could be considered over the line, over the top. It could be considered hurtful, and I should not have used it. And I do apologize. I wholeheartedly apologize. I should not have done that. But I want you to understand, I said this in the heat of the moment, in passion, and I do believe that I was trying to say how disgusting I was that you would risk people's lives and not tell them about a threat. I could not understand how good, honest, compassionate, God-fearing people could do that, could know about a threat like this and not report it to their constituents, to explain to their constituents, to save a life, to inform them so they can be aware. Anyway, I couldn't understand that. I apologize. I should not have used that language. Let's see. Next, I want to go on and say, oh yes, I want to say the words I used specifically were, I hope there's a special place in hell waiting for each of you. Those are the words, 14 words that I regret using, and there was unfortunate use of words for me. I apologize. Let's see. Next, I wanted to say, I wanted to thank Keith Hayes for inviting me to come on his show, The Booth, on January 9th. I was only expecting to be on his show for maybe 15 minutes. I ended up being his only guest for the whole hour and 45-minute show. This was my first appearance on a podcast. Keith and I had a lively talk. We each made and defended our positions on the bat threat to public safety. Keith, who, if I remember right, is an employee with the MBTA, the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority, I think, pointed out to me that my description of bat drivers moving the bus while the doors were open could not be true because of a mechanical system that will not allow a bat bus to move while the front doors are open. I explained to Keith that the doors were only open for a matter of seconds or minutes, but Keith insisted that my recollection in my description of my safety violation was wrong, that the front doors of the bus could not have been open while the bus was moving in traffic. Anyway, I give Keith credit. The next day, Keith responded in a comment on the Brockton Hub. He informed me that he may have been wrong about if BAT utilized that specific mechanical system that prevented BAT buses from moving with the doors open. In fact, I want to read to you now an email of an incident that occurred on a Brockton City bus just recently. Let me just pull it up on my screen here. It says Radio Sydney. Here it is, bus doors. I sent this email to all the usual people, Sydney Marrow, the chief of staff, the mayor's chief of staff, the mayor, city councilors, and a group of other people. I say, good afternoon. I wanted to report to you that at 2:36 p.m. today, Saturday, January 27th, 2024, BAT bus number 1302 pulled up to the bus stop on Warren Avenue where I was waiting for the bus to get home, with the bus doors wide open, 100% wide open. And the videos will confirm this. The bus tape videos will confirm this. Why am I reporting this to you? I say because on Keith Hayes' podcast, The Booth, on Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, which I say, Keith asked me questions about my multiple statements on my show, BATBUSGUY, concerning my saying that the drivers were moving the bus while passengers were standing at the fare box with their back to the front doors wide open. Wide open, I stated, the bus doors are open while they were standing at the fare box. And I stated that was very dangerous because the driver had to hit the brakes, which he did on multiple occasions. The passenger could have been thrown into the street and seriously injured or killed. I go on to say, Keith Hayes on his show berated me and went on for at least 15 or 20 minutes, maybe more, telling me, Richard, you are wrong. He said he worked for the MBTA and he knows for a fact that BAT buses have a mechanical operating system installed in the buses that it makes it impossible for BAT buses to move with the doors open. He acted so proud. He's like, it was a gotcha moment. I got you, Mr. Ripley. I caught you in a lie. I protested to Keith on his show. I kept protesting. Keith, I'm not lying. I know I'm getting old, but I know what I saw. Anyway, he continued to tell me, Richard, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. In fact, that was the main issue that Keith debunked me on my show, or thought he debunked me on. I will give credit, like I said, though. Keith did tell me the next morning that he thought he may have been wrong. And with this email that I had, it goes with the bus doors open. We know now for a fact that BAT buses do not have that mechanical system in place that prevents the bus from moving while the front doors are open. So my 6 or 8, I think, complaints to BAT and Mayor Sullivan about the bus doors being wide open while the passenger is standing there trying to put their money in the bus fare with the doors behind them wide open on a moving bus, was correct. And if that driver had to hit the brakes because traffic conditions forced him to, and the whole passenger's body went backwards with the doors open, that passenger could have been thrown into the street, exactly as I stated. Next, I wanted to go to the next subject is. Okay, yes, also on the podcast, Keith and I disagreed on my description of calling this illegal and ongoing threat to public, an illegal ongoing threat to public safety, because Keith thought that the fact that BAT disciplined the drivers and wrote them up, or however they disciplined them, was enough and that the threat was over. I respectfully disagreed with Keith on that. I believe that I successfully made my point that whatever you want to call it, just the fact that 4 independent investigations all confirm the threat is real is enough to warrant a public informing the people of Brockton so that they can be aware and take precautions when they're getting on a BAT bus to protect themselves and their families. You can go on my YouTube channel, BATBUSGUY, and watch this podcast. I'd like you to email me your concerns. How did I do? Did I get my message across? Is there any information you need from me? Any documents you want? I'd be happy to provide them to you. Next, I want to say, as you all know, I have stated the following in many of my videos. I think I stated in emails too. Probably I say a lot. In my opinion, Mayor Sullivan and the Brockton City Council and Massachusetts State Representatives Rita Mendez and Michelle Du Bois have crossed the line and become a clear and present danger to the safety of the innocent kids and disabled seniors of Brockton who ride the BAT bus. Further, I have stated, in my opinion, Mayor Sullivan and the Brockton City Council and Massachusetts State Representative Rita Mendez and Michelle Du Bois are all playing God with and gambling with and risking the lives of innocent kids and disabled seniors and pregnant mothers by knowing about and refusing to inform the people of this documented, illegal, dangerous, and ongoing public safety threat on BAT buses. I say now, I believe that based on all the known facts in over 500 documents that I possess on this issue, that those statements that I made about the mayor and the city council playing God and crossing the line are 100% true and accurate. At the same time, I understand that some of you out there will disagree with me, and that's fine. People disagree. It's completely normal. But let me ask you, what do you, the people listening, call it when every one of Brockton's elected representatives who were elected to represent and serve you, who were duly elected by you to serve you, are all in agreement that over the last year, dozens of BAT bus drivers have been found guilty by BAT management of driving illegally and endangering the life and safety of at least 80 innocent kids and disabled seniors. And each one of them, of your public officials, refused to issue a public statement. They don't consider this a serious enough threat to warn you. And I'm very adamant that just the fact alone that there is, everyone agrees there is a safety threat, no matter how minor, is enough to warrant some type of public statement from the city officials to warn the very people who are being threatened so that they are aware and protect them and can protect themselves and their families. Let's see. Now I want to say to everyone listening, I hope I have cleared up any confusion or concerns you may have had as to whether this BAT threat is in fact serious and dangerous enough to warrant the issuance of a public safety statement from the administration. I now want to announce some good information, or at least from my standpoint. Let me get the document. Here it is here. I don't know if you remember, but I stated in, I think it was my last show, I stated that I contacted 3 radio stations. I sent them a packet of documents, and I informed them about my show, BATBUSGUY, and so they could view everything and make their decisions. Anyway, the good news is I got a call from Ed Miller and Bishop Tony Branch of the radio show Stand Up Strong. It is a talk radio show about Brockton and what is going on in Brockton. It is on 1530 AM WVBF and 99.7 FM. Anyway, they've invited me to be on their show in about 2 weeks. I don't have the exact dates and times yet, but when I get them, I will let you know. They've gone through my videos. They've gone through the documents I gave them, and they, like me, they feel that this is a legitimate issue in this city. So I get my chance to go on there and speak and answer questions and try to convince more Brocktonians of what is going on. I'm also waiting to hear back from 2 Boston stations. They have a much larger audience and they're more busier, so it's going to take a little longer for them to go through all my documents and review everything. So that may be in a month or so before I hear from them. Anyway, I sent all the documents and information to Dan Rea. I think it's Rea. R-E-A is his last name. He's on WBZ 1030 FM. And I also gave the information to Brockton Public Radio. Let's see, Brockton Public Radio. It's hosted by Jim Broad and Marjorie Egan. That's on WGBH 89.7 FM. I'm waiting to see if they invite me to come on their shows to talk about this issue on that. Let's see. I think that's almost all I had. You can also go to my BAT bus guy and check out all my videos. I did want to make a short statement though. I'd like to again make a request and ask to try to convince the Brockton City Council to please exercise your authority and power through the resolution process and have BAT brought before the full City Council to address this threat on BAT, again, that is documented and real. No matter how minor you might think it is real. And have BAT come before the full City Council and address it. What they're doing about it, what they intend to do about it, and talk about the threat. And it should be a public meeting. And I would like to ask you to be sure to be sure to have BAT address this harassment and phishing clause in the contract and state very clearly, is my interpretation right about what I stated, about the clause, about them bending the rules? And also, and make sure that and I'll give you the date, the bus numbers, the dates, and the times of the most egregious bus safety incidents, bus safety violations, and have BAT bring those tapes to the city council and release them so the people of Brockton can see with their own eyes what I'm talking about, and they can see how dangerous and threatening these safety threats are. Now, I don't know if that's going to be able to be done, but because like I said before, I don't think BAT is going to do it. So, but anyway, I hope BAT will do that, and because those are the smoking guns. If BAT will release those tapes, this whole issue could be settled in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Just show the tapes, and everything I'm saying, people will say, hey, the bat bus guy was right. This is real. This is dangerous. We have a right to know. Finally, I wanted to just let the public know that I produced earlier today here in the studios a public service announcement. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I mentioned it in my last show. What I want to do is right now, Brockton does not have a forum for you, the people of Brockton, to address an issue to your city officials, your city council, your mayor, city departments, if you have a problem. So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to have a show. It's tentatively going to be called Voices of Brockton. I have some guests for my first show lined up, but I wanted to get your opinion on, if I do this show, will you come on and participate and sit here or come on Zoom and talk about any issue you want? If you've got an issue with the city department, you have an issue with your city, in your city neighborhood, you can't get through to your city councilors, they're not calling you back, they're ignoring you, or if you've got a problem with a city agency and you're having trouble getting through, just come on the show and sit here before the cameras and speak directly to them. If you've got a problem in your city neighborhood, or if you're opening a business, or if you want to give a plug to your business to try to increase business, if you're opening a new hair salon, or if you're opening a new restaurant, or if you're opening any kind of business and you want to talk about it, hey, great, come on here and talk about it. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be about the bat bus. It can be about any issue that you, the people, care about, so you can get your concerns out there. Believe me, you'll feel much better when you can actually speak and get your concerns out there. Again, I will pledge to get your concerns. I'll pledge to get your concerns into the hands of the people who can address it, but I can't guarantee that it will be addressed by your city councilor or whatever city department you have, but I will get it into their hands. So I just want to gauge to see if Brockton is ready for that, if people want that, because I want to have a show that you want, that you, the people of Brockton, want, so you can get your concerns out there. I think that's about it that I had for today. I'll keep you updated on when I'm going to be on the radio show with Stand Up Strong, and when I hear from the two Boston radio stations, because every place I can get to sit and address this issue, it gets the word spread, it gets to more and more people, and that's what I want to do. The more people I can get it to, the better it will be. The more people will understand what's going on. I think that's about it, except let me just take another chance here. Another chance and say to Mayor Sullivan and City Council, again, I don't have any problems with you, but I really, truly feel that you are wrong on this. I honestly believe that this threat on the buses is serious enough that the people of Brockton need to at least be informed so they can be careful. That's all I'm asking. I don't want us to we make such an issue of this, but this is so simple. There's a threat. You confirm the threat. 4 different agencies confirm the threat is real. So the final step is you tell the people who are threatened. I don't know why I can't get that across to all of you. But anyway, I did the best I could. I'll continue to move forward because I believe that this is a serious issue. I believe in public safety, and it's a fight that I'm more than willing to continue, so please follow me, the Bat Bus Guy, against the city of Brockton. See how far I get. Maybe I'll win, maybe I'll lose, but let's watch and let's see what happens, see what goes on. Oh, anyway, thank you, Brockton. Thank you. Bye.